can be heavy, right? Especially for our change makers. So today, I wanted to use some of my mental health skills that I acquired over the years to help you regulate your anxiety, to help you regulate those uneasy moments. A lot of us had some uneasy talks with family over the politics in this nation. Some of us really had to be more trauma informed and how they worked in the workplace, carrying a lot of isms. It can be heavy work, heavy work. And so um, I dedicated to myself that I would take more time to well being, right? These are the things that are equitable to us in this moment to practice. And it's not all the time equitable or given to practice in our organizations. So as we're growing, as we're moving, as we're supporting one another, we're taking the time to feed the good things, the good essential things that we need. There were some things I had to pull back on because of the level of stress that can kind of occur on the job, right? And so you take your time with yourselves. I'm talking to all the change makers. I'm talking to the mommies. I'm talking to the daddies. I'm even talking to the kids in school. This is me being my therapeutic self here on the Pruned Tree Podcast because without growth, right? Without understanding of self, without self reflection, without understanding where you're at in your life, without acceptance, we can't grow. We simply can't grow. So, one of the things that I love to do, and we can always share. Sharing is caring in a good way, as long as you didn't take it from somebody else, right? And you try to give it to somebody unwillingly against their will. There's many different ways on why we give. Well, simply, Rebel Rae gives anything that I learned that helped me through my stress or helped me through understanding differences. I learned a support work. And you can do that for your community. We're talking about building communities, right? In the most equitable, sustainable way and helping all of our qualitative services work together. And during this collective impact, it can be a lot of infighting that stresses you out. It can be a lot of things that you're worried about your position when you're a change maker. You gotta practice wellness. You gotta practice wellness when you're always showing up, and you gotta always take pause. And I'm talking to myself too. And so here on the Prune Tree, I really wanted to start off the year with saying thank you. We're going to go into another year here. This is going to be one of our last episodes of the season. We almost did 52 episodes, an entire weeks of seasons for the season. And it could be a lot of work to show up. And I have my thank yous. I want to shout out to Mayfair Management. I want to shout out to the RSS partnerships, the team, also our organizations that are working together, and all the people that give back into the People's Empowerment Center, into arts, into connecting with community, to build community. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Um, and it was a very heavy lift, it seemed like. We saw some things that made you go, but it also held your heart down. So a lot of y'all are feeling a little misunderstood. You're feeling maybe disconnected. You might be feeling some depression around the holidays. That's how it is sometimes. Sometimes it's the pressure of getting all those gifts and toys for everybody when you know your pockets can't really handle it. So these are things that you want to keep striving for, yes, but be kind to yourself, right? When you cannot hold it all, be kind, and you will get there, right? You gotta do positivity within the community, within your job. So you gotta kind of check your emotions at times. If you're finding yourself high irritability, you're having thoughts of sadness, you can't get out of bed, you don't feel hope, right? You might be suffering with depression. So A lot of people are dealing with depression. Mental illness is really on the rise. Drug use is on the rise. As you know, with the coalition, we're really demonstrating how we're working with our partnerships and our partners in the capacity just to give opioid um, awareness, literature, fentanyl testing to help Narcan for people that anytime we see them falling out on the street or you know a friend and a lot of people, they don't see eye to eye with that no harm approach. That's what it's called. It's called a harm reduction approach. And a lot of times, nonprofits do this work. So if you've been doing that heavy lift, if you've been working in the shelters with our unsheltered families, I want to tell you it's okay to take a day of rest. It's okay to take care of your family and take care of yourself and really reflect on the goodness of all your well-being, how you've been pouring in to yourself, and be gentle with yourself. Um, I gained a lot of weight, and it wasn't weight that I wanted. Sometimes we stress eat, we pull. You're that single mother, you're the leader, you're this, you're that, you're this for your family. You want to be this for all the other future endeavors you have for yourself. So that work-life balance sometimes, right, can really, really get to you. So how do we decompress when we get home? Well, ladies, some of us like, hey, turn some nice music on, lay some candles. I have some sage here. And we often have that playlist. Make playlists. Playlists make you want to get in the mood. If you're really struggling with mood disorders or you're struggling with memories that put you in a depressive mood, you may have lost someone around the holidays, do things that help you to recover. And the body and mental health is the same way as it is in its physical health, right? So you have to do things that heal your mind, right? So I do a lot of healing centered approach. I do a lot of cultural approach to healing, how to center yourself. So today we have some smells of sage. We have some smells of different. We have our crystals and and that's the salt lamp that really cleans the air. And you just have your little sayings around you. My saying that I always love is trust your purpose, right? I have those affirmations around me. You really want to center yourself, especially as wintertime. You're supposed to be lining yourself up just like all the other animals of the kingdom. We're not going to call people animals, but everyone in that hierarchy needs to rest. You need to rest. This is time for rest, hibernation, strategy, understanding how you're going to uplift your next task and really take time for yourself. So you don't burn out, you don't bring it to work, you don't get in road rage, you don't make rash decisions because you're in your anger, right? You're in your emotions, right? Gotta breathe through that. So we're gonna do some centering, right? Your chakras. I'm going to teach you some tapping first, right? I love teaching this because tapping allows you to focus your attention, your mind. It replaces negative thoughts with like positive thoughts. If you just need to get up, you could do this sitting at your desk while you're working, or you could do it standing. I need to just stand because I've been sitting all day, riding the porch, running around, right? That's fine. So you're going to center yourself, place your feet on the ground, and you're going to love yourself and be in the moment. And in this moment, let's take a rest on the count of 20, right? Just being in quiet. So I want you to close your eyes and hold your hands in a very comfortable position. If it's better, just be an open palm and resting. You could do that too. And I like both. And we're going to do some breath work. You ready? You're going to breathe in with your nostrils, out, breathe in, out with your nostrils. You're going to continue this for 20 counts. You ready? Let's go. Taking that time centers you. Ground centers you. You could take your shoes off to get more grounding. Let your feet rest, right? We have our indigenous teachings too that teach us that to be connected to Gaia, Mother Earth, whatever you call Earth to protect her, and you're centering yourself. And another pose of acceptance you can do in yoga, where you can put your legs together and really align your back and focus on your breathing because you're aligning your chakras, right? A lot of times when you are often having a hard time with emotional regulation, you have a lot of things probably stored in your gut, right? So a lot of things that we haven't been eating properly, you haven't been digesting, that gut regulates your emotion. So a lot of bloating, sisters, that you're dealing with, a lot of abdominal problems. Get those crunches in, get that healthy green eating in, and get that exercise in. So I'm going to show you a quick exercise that you can do when you're just coming up from the seat. And this, I am no means a doctor or a physical therapist. I'm an associate clinical social worker, and I work with trauma victims. So that's my experience and my background. So when I take the time to center myself and I need to do some movement, I do slight movements. So I may put my hand here and I may touch my knee to my hand. Just slight movements. Get that circulation going. Get off that couch, right? Sometimes depression can sit in because you're just in one place. The great thing about this is standing Pilates. A lot of you don't know. Women, you can use your body weight and you can get that fupa in line just by doing this. And I do 3 sets of 25 on each leg. Get that blood sugar going. And you don't even have to go that high. This is the moderate from going high. And if you're sitting in a chair, you want to make sure that when you sit in a chair, you can take your time with lifting one leg at a time and placing it back on the ground. And you can continue that for that exercise, right? Especially when you're having mobility problems for some of our elders. We used to see a lot of our grandmamas do that. A lot of sisters in the front row of the seat because they have poor circulation. So they were getting that circulation going. And that's how you did those little chair exercises for your mobility. A lot of times too, we're storing a lot of energy that's not ours, right? So stretching is great to really feel where you're at in a moment, help gravitate and get your mind out of those racing thoughts and just move about and stretch some of that energy out. So we're going to stretch the abdominal muscle. It's really, really good to do when you're storing a lot of energy. If you're sitting at the desk for long periods of time because you have a paperwork desk and your gut can feel unhealthy, right? So taking that time just to feel your stomach and know. You can pray as well. You can meditate, right? Align your chakras. When you're feeling very emotional, if there's like some stuck crying for you, emotional pain that you haven't been able to release, sometimes, and a lot of times it's stored here. Acid reflux, stress, ulcers, a lot of different things. Your posture as well, right? It's so many things that are interconnected with your gut. And gut health is wealth, everybody. So we're going to be focusing on that. I'm going to be turning 40 next year. I'm so happy. But I'm going to be growing with you. You're going to be watching me growing. So I want to lose 40 pounds. And the way I want to do this, I want to also fundraise for a fun cause. And we've helped with a lot of organizations, and so we're going to be getting and running a campaign for every pound that you pledge for every dollar, I lose a pound. So for every dollar that you pledge to the Pruned Tree Podcast, bringing on people, helping people speak their truth, having a place of safety for all of our community members to tell how they've grown, to share their stories. That's the Pruned Tree. You can make a donation at theprunedtree@gmail.com. That's the.prunedtree@gmail.com. And so you can write into us. If you would like to be a guest next year, please reach out. We want you there, right? We want you on here. We want your stories of encouragement, especially if you went through something that only a higher source could have got you there and helped you. A lot of times the higher source is within yourself, the resiliency of our stories. Our stories carry our DNA, our ancestors, right? And so storytelling is powerful to the movement. It's powerful to speaking healing too, and you being able to accept anything that you're going through, whether it be substance abuse, whether it be homelessness, whether it be anything you're faced with. When we tell our stories, we connect. We build empathy. Come on, y'all. We build empathy. So we're so excited. I hope Mayfair management got a chance to put some of the pictures and even the video that that I participated in as Mrs. Claus. And we give back to the community, I would say, oh my goodness, I would say 2 or 3 times a month on just different causes within the coalition. And so we really needed to uplift the cradle to career, and we need to really show our schools, we're here, right? We see you. How do we give back to our community schools? But you also have to be equitable, right? And how do you give back? And how do you capture a connection? Well, guess what? It's going back to those basics. Connecting on the ground, connecting to the parents, using things that connect us like books and poetry and art and literature. And it's easy to do. You got to have a willing spirit to connect with our youth and our children. And so we use Santa Claus and how the Grinch stole Christmas. We had the Grinch come out, and shout out to that special person. You know who you are, who is the Grinch for RSSE this year. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. And we delighted 450 kids at the auditorium of Port City Academy Aspire. Shout out to them. Mrs. Claus came out, myself as Mrs. Claus, and we just kind of gave back. And it's those little things, the bright smiles, the hope in their eyes, the inspiration, right, that we live for. I think that's important to talk about, right? That's important to tell those stories because they're the next generation. They're the next leaders, right? So I'm gonna see, do we have that playback that we can show the viewers inside of that? Okay, so we'll play that for you and we'll be back in just a moment. Okay. Oh, okay. Moses, you need to wait a little bit. Okay. So, and we took pictures as well with the families. And so our next Christmas giveaways and connections we're going to be doing is the Christmas at Sierra Vista. We do that every year. Miss Georgia, shout out to you for always going out there. You and the residents of the resident council, as well as all of the community members, they've been really shaking it up out there and really trying to do their best with bridging gaps of isolation of what we're needing. And so RSSC will be supporting with sponsoring for one family of need that needed and could not purchase a Christmas gift this year for their children. And that's a reality, y'all. The way PG&E is, the way everything is set up, you know, a lot of our community members had a very hard time adjusting after COVID and inflation hit. And I know there's a lot of apathy out there about, hey, well, you know, that's not my problem. Well, it is a problem for the community because if we continue to have a bunch of have-nots or a bunch of, percentages that is not equitable, other things happen. People get weary. We saw these same trends in the Great Depression, right? And so it's taking an empathetic, and not just always a governmental structure. Humanitarian values need to be reenacted again, right? How we view our unsheltered communities. A lot of them were on aid. A lot of them were disabled. They were the elders. This is not just a thing where we keep talking about a bunch of drugs. We know for a fact, participating in the opioid coalition, that big pharmacy was responsible for the very large influx of opioids into the communities. They were told they were safe. And these are prescription opioids like Xanax and different other medications that have been overused. And it's a opioid. It's part of the opium plant family derive. And so we've seen this even with the crack epidemic, right? How unequitable and how people begin to die. And so we do see, within the outcomes, a lot of BIPOC, that's Black, Indigenous, people of color, are passing away. What do we do, right? And so it's important that we reach the children early. We do early intervention. We have those programs in place. RSSC has 7 interest areas, and I'm very proud of them. I mean, we took this year and a half and we just put our foot to the ground and we worked hard. I'm so proud of our staff. I'm so proud of our board. And I am just being very more vocal on the lift, right? Especially during the scarcity mindset, especially during what you feel like you're being pent against organizations. Everyone has a heightened mode, even at the community-based organization level. So you got to practice equity. You got to practice transparency. You got to practice support in collective work. That's what I do now. I've ran many programs. I've done direct services for many, many years. But collective impact work is special. It takes a very mature and seasoned person that understands community to do it, to not be scared to get on the ground and to connect. Can't be scared. Got to get out there. I'm talking to the change makers, right? I'm always going to ground you. I'm always going to support you. I'm always going to come from a trauma-informed lens. And then there's this advocacy in me that says, if we're rising, let's rise together. If we're going to tackle a situation within our ability to tackle as a community, the government can't do it by itself. Community has to get in there and do it as well. And so through this neighborhood transformation, we're going to be increasing in a 4-part series of our initiatives this year, and we're so happy about it, right? Because I think it's one of those things that it can grow. The people need to see you out there. The people need to know that you care, and that's important. You have to document it, and there's been efforts on many, many levels, city and county, of trying to decrease this illegal dumping that is going into our areas. Residents are very concerned. Again, RSSC is resident centered. We work with so many different folks, but we're really uplifting the residents' voices and what they're wanting. And people want to be outside. The community health needs assessment of San Joaquin County really revealed that for the mental health awareness and what people wanted. They wanted their parks. They wanted to go carefree. We're playing working with the handball initiative here. Shout out to Hernandez Handball, who's really been speaking up, right? How they've been taking care of the courts in our parks. How there's not enough efficient lighting. People are trying to cope, but they got to cope in equitable spaces. Uh-oh. Did I say it? People are trying to cope, but they got to cope in equitable spaces. If you want us to heal ourselves, you want us to take accountability, our parks need to look the same. Very much equitable resources to parks that need lighting, They need replenishing of their concrete. They need upgrade ADA playgrounds. We need these things to help support community. We need culture in our parks, right? We got to do these things to be seen, to heal, and come together. It's a lot of division. People are not feeling seen and they feel like they're not being heard. So people go in their silence. So just really understanding how to cope, how to talk to people, check yourself when you need to. It's not about you. It's not about you, right? How do you pray? How do you meditate? How do you regulate, right? Do we got that clip up? It's so cute, you guys. So wanted to share this little slideshow clip with you guys. Shout out to Aspire for City Academy.
All right. The Grinch who lived in Florida Poolfield did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please, don't ask why. No one thought it was going to be this. It could be his head, but the screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think the most likely reason of all would have been that his heart was too tight.
All right, y'all. So that is Rebel Rae. Listen, love the kids. Came together. Of course, it was I wanted to narrate that we were so excited to get this happening. We appreciated them. And shout out to Shopwild. They donated 100 personal wellness. We were able to give that to the most vulnerable kids, K-12, I'm sorry, K-6 that was there that participated in this time. Really and to see like all the pieces, children, yes, you would introduce and help with your work. Inspired about reading. So that was a great idea. It was story time with Grinch. And really those interactions, we had this in the 80s, right? We had Mona Montezuma on the South Side. We had Janie B. Reddish, shout out, that's my principal. would bring all type of things to those kids in that neighborhood because, the neighborhood might not have had the money in their community to take kids to the aquarium, show them things. She showed us stuff about our African history. She showed us things about how we stay centered and empowered. So a lot of the way I interact with my community is really just how, I call them my masters, the one that really mastered the art of supporting the community, being community leaders, and really attending to the people. Like those are people I call my masters. They mastered that, and they're retired now. They've gone and been with the creator. But they did these interactive auditorium connecting, and I see Aspire doing this as town halls. I don't know what Unified School District has or any other Unified School District has, but it's bringing the imagination back to the kids. Here, we end the show because we're going to get that Christmas tree to our next place. I ran after the Grinch and he stole the Christmas tree. Turn it back up. Moses, you got to hear these kids when they're screaming. Let's turn the video back up. Up, you can hear the screaming. Turn the video up. I think. Okay, so I just bowed out. I don't know if you can hear the screaming or not, but the kids wasn't having it at all. It was the most adorable thing, and we were delighted. Right, we were delighted to serve, and we did recess with the kids. We interacted with them. We told them about story time and why reading was important, and it was simple, but it got through to them, right? And so we were able to bless them with backpacks and just keep doing the work, keep showing up in a good way, connecting with the community, hearing their concerns. A shout out to Rafani Chen. She really helped with having a resource table out there. We were able to get some housing justice surveys completed on behalf of the coalition. And hey, that's what we're doing all holiday long. We're going to be having Sierra Vista's Christmas giveaway that will be for Sierra Vista residents. Check the website. The flyer is up there. We'll also be having Christmas in Conway. So check that website. Check our website, check our socials and social media pages. And the Pruned Tree will post them here too. Because it's a safe place for you to be with your families and get connected, get some hot cocoa, connect to community and support community. So that's all I have. I'm so grateful for the neighborhood transformation. RSSC received $30,000 from our NCO funding here with San Joaquin County Council. And so the partners are coming together. We're going to do our neighborhood transformation and our cleanup very soon here. We're so excited. It will be the 16th. We're going to be canvassing on Thursday. Come out if you want to be a part of something powerful. You want to feel good and centered, you want to give back and volunteer, please, 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 please email me at rcthompson@rsscoalition.org. I am Rebel Rae, right? I love you. Thank you for sticking in with us for the entire time of the podcast, listening to our highlights, listening to the important people we bring you with their stories of uplifting you and inspiration. You can hear about all the gossip everywhere else. We are about growth over here, baby. Let's go. Peace, blessings. See you in 2025. Let's go.